and we're taking a bit of a break. The trial is off for a few days because of the holiday, but not before some explosive testimony from Kid Cudi and others. I'll catch you up on everything you might have missed. Hello, my fam. It is Perez, the queen of all media, the original influencer, and your #1 source for everything Diddy drama. Cassie's ex-boyfriend is facing some very serious charges of racketeering, trafficking, and prostitution, which could see him behind bars for the rest of his life. Yay! First up on the stand today is George Kaplan, his former assistant. We heard from George yesterday, and he had more to say. Kaplan testified that he saw Diddy in a violent altercation with Cassie on a private plane to Las Vegas back in 2015. Kaplan testified, "I heard a glass break behind me. It was a glass crash, shatter. I looked over my right shoulder and saw Mr. Combs standing over Cassie. She was on her back and her legs were extended up that indicated she was trying to create space between the two of them. He was standing above her. He had a glass in his hand and he was holding it up. It was a whiskey rocks glass. There was tremendous commotion and scuffle, and after the glass crashed, Cassie screamed, 'Isn't anybody seeing this?' Kaplan testified that Diddy's security did not intervene. When asked what he did, he responded, 'Nothing. I looked away. I was 23 years old. All I wanted to do was have a great job in the entertainment industry. I couldn't believe my fortune working for an icon. The last way I thought I would be successful was to compromise his well-being in any way.' In a second incident, Kaplan testified that he was summoned to Diddy's home where he saw Cassie in the bedroom crying on the bed with her head in her hands. He says that she was clearly upset and it was clear there was bruising on her face. Kaplan says that Diddy sent him to a pharmacy to buy lotion and witch hazel, which he told the court he understood were to be mixed to act as an anti-swelling agent. In what Diddy's former assistant testified as the last straw for me, he told the court that in the fall of 2015, he saw a very angry Combs throwing these green apples that lived in a decorative vessel in the entryway of his Miami home. The apples were aimed at another girlfriend of his, whom Kaplan told the court was trying to shield herself with her arms. This other girlfriend that he was seeing at the same time he was with Cassie, her name is Gina. Gina Huyn. I hope I pronounced that right. Kaplan additionally testified that he also heard a commotion later that night with screaming back and forth after Kaplan said he gave Combs a medicine bag. Others have testified that this Louis Vuitton medicine bag was full of drugs. Kaplan said that he resigned shortly after that because he wasn't comfortable or aligned with the physical behavior I had seen and felt guilty about covering up alleged abuse. Kaplan testified that he did not intervene during this incident either, for all the same reasons as before. A young kid trying to make it in the entertainment industry. This was my first professional endeavor, and I thought this was normal, and this is what I could expect if I wanted a career in the industry. That was not normal. Kaplan also testified that Diddy would give May 21st off as a company holiday to his staffers because that is the Notorious B.I.G.'s birthday. And that's a wrap on George Kaplan, his former assistant. Up next on the stand is Cassie's ex, Kid Cudi, the rapper. He was wearing a white t-shirt and a black leather jacket. Very, very casual to testify in federal court. Cudi testified that in December of 2011, Diddy broke into his home. Quote, I got a call from Cassie around 5:30, 6 a.m. She told me that Sean Combs had found out about us. I was confused, but she asked me to pick her up. She sounded really stressed on the phone, scared, nervous, so I went to go pick her up. Kid Cudi, testifying under his legal name, Scott Miscuddy, told the court that he took Ventura to the Sunset Marquis Hotel, where he testified that Diddy's assistant called him, informing him that Sean Combs was in my house, and that she was forced to go along, referring to the assistant of Diddy's. Cudi testified that he drove in his Porsche 911 Cabriolet to the house in which he was living in at the time and called Sean Combs while on the way. I said, MFer, you in my house? And he said, what's up? He testified that he asked Combs again, are you in my house? I just want to talk to you. I'm on my way over right now. When he arrived at the home, Cudi testified that he saw some gifts I had bought for my family were opened. It was December, Christmas time, and that his dog was locked up in my bathroom. Cudi's dog, locked up in the bathroom of his house. He told the court that the incident left his dog jittery and kind of on edge all the time. Poor dog. Cudi also testified that he again called Combs, quote, I was asking him where he was, and he said, I'm on my way. Cudi instead said, I don't know who he was with, what his intentions are, so he opted to call the police, who came to the house and took a report about the break-in. Cudi also told the court that in 2012, he received an early morning phone call that my car was on fire. Asked for his reaction, Cudi testified, what the F? The jury saw photos of Cudi's damaged Porsche, including the blackened interior door and the charred, melted driver's seat. The top of my Porsche was cut open, he told the jury. That's where they inserted the Molotov cocktail. Cudi testified, adding that he saw the bottle from the Molotov cocktail. It was kind of burnt up. Arson is among the predicate acts in the racketeering conspiracy count Combs faces. Cassie previously testified that Diddy threatened to have Kid Cudi's car blown up when he learned about her relationship with the other rapper. Cudi also testified that his security camera had been shifted so it was no longer pointing toward his door when Diddy broke in, and that some of his things had been moved around. Cudi clarified that he and Cassie began dating when she and Puffy were on a break. Cudi testified that the Diddy drama was too out of hand, so he broke up with Cassie. And there is more from Cudi's testimony and 2 more witnesses to get to in another video. So stay tuned for more coming up in a little bit. But until then, let's discuss everything that we've learned here in the comments section. And thank you for your support. What a day it's been. What a week. Thank God we have some days off. I need it. See you in a little bit.